Welcome to Guatemala, a land of eternal spring, a Central American country set between two oceans with Mexico above. Guatemala City, the capital, sits atop a plateau almost a mile above sea level. This city, with new banks, office, and hotel buildings, is the modern side of a country filled with extreme contrasts. Guatemala is one of the truly volcanic territories of the world. 33 volcanoes, a few still active, are within the cordillera that crosses the country. The volcanic slopes yield great harvests of unusual coffee. Blessed by a wide range of climate, the land can nurture virtually any crop grown in the Western Hemisphere. Checkered fields of corn cover the precipitous mountainsides and high plateaus. Other major crops include cotton, bananas, and sugar. A great volcanic mountain towers over beautiful Lake Atitlan. The 1,000-foot deep waters are usually calm, but can quickly become treacherous. Often in late afternoon, winds whistle down the mountains and churn the lake into a raging sea. Along the shores of the lake are 12 little Indian communities, all named after Catholic saints. Guatemalan Indians splurge with color. A village can be identified by the design of its textiles. The people are rugged, shy, and self-contained. Generation upon generation have toughened their feet to trot under cumbersome loads. The men have incredible strength, and the women hurry gracefully along the roadsides, balancing heavy loads on their heads. Crude hoes slung over their shoulders, young Indian boys leave home early each morning to work on the family farm. Even with some modernization like transistor radios, Guatemalan Indians are still living somewhere back in the 17th century. Monuments to the grandeur of an ancient civilization rise above the vast northern jungle. Tikal is a lost city of the fabulous Mayan Empire that flourished until 900 AD. It is one of the most valuable archaeological jewels in the Western Hemisphere. Temples, palaces, and courtyards once knew the tread of priests who intoned incantations to the gods of rain, sun, wind, and corn. Even human sacrifices were offered. Antigua, once the colonial capital, was destroyed by earthquakes in the 1700s. Its splendid churches, convents, and government buildings rivaled those of Mexico City. Today, their remains are a witness to old splendors and disasters. The village of Chichicastenango is a typical representation of Mayan Guatemala 3 centuries ago. Market days bring the Indians and their produce from throughout the countryside. They walk from early dawn over narrow footpaths and dusty roads to the marketplaces. In the village, they spread out their produce and textiles to barter and sell. Religion goes deep. Even though most of the Indians have been Christianized, they still hold to old religious practices. It is said the Indians are Christians in their churches and pagans in their fields. On the church steps, priests swing incense cans and mutter prayers to appease the gods, while the masses follow the traditional ritual of burning incense as they climb the church steps on their knees. Inside the church, they light candles on the floor and sprinkle flower petals around the candle bed. Some will visit a nearby hill to speak to the ancient stone idol and offer sacrifices. Their faith mixes Catholicism with pagan practices and beliefs. It is a complicated mixture. Amid such religious confusion, the image of the Seventh-day Adventist Church is vitally important. So, when the world president of this church visited Guatemala in mid-1979, a special patriotic ceremony was fitting to the occasion. In the heart of the capital city, President Neil Wilson laid a wreath at the foot of the Monument of Independence. The great shrine is commemorative of the independence won from Spain in 1821 and honors all war heroes of the country.
Guatemala has long been known for its friendliness and for its spirit of international cooperation.
Guatemala por mucho tiempo ha sido conocido como no solamente por su amigabilidad, sino
Wilson's
también por
visit
su
to Guatemala
espíritu
covered two
internacional
significant events for the church: a large lay congress for the Central American Union and the inauguration of the first denominationally owned radio station. Base operations are set up in Guatemala City at the Union office. Antenna and technical operations are a few miles outside the city. Engineers and workers from several locations in the States helped with the installation. Scores of other interested persons made heavy financial contributions. Communication leaders of the General Conference feel confident this station, with AM, FM, shortwave facilities, will become a powerful tool in spreading the gospel. Potential output can reach all of Central America, the northern part of South America, and the islands of the Caribbean. The great audience attending the lay congress represented the church from Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Panama. Unitedly, the people responded to the many challenges, to the vital time in which we are living, to the need to go preach, go witness, go tell, to the urgency to lay aside all else and prepare for the coming of Jesus. A short time following the lay congress, members of the 6 Guatemala City churches were inviting their neighbors and friends to a great evangelistic crusade. And people came, by foot, by bus, by car, by bicycle. Hundreds and hundreds packed into the tent. 2 meetings each night were scheduled to accommodate the crowds. Evangelist Kenneth Cox spoke through an interpreter, but he says that his use of the English language attracted the educated and professional people of the city. More than 500 were baptized: businessmen, teachers, lawyers, doctors, people from many and varied disciplines. Ken and Alcion Fleck spent 14 years in the Inter-American Division, where Elder Fleck was president of several missions. Early in 1979, the Flecks retired from pastoral work in Oregon to return to Guatemala. Little orphans like Rafaelito and Maria were the reason. There was a compelling power drawing them to a new mission in their lives. Alcion was urged by many different people to establish an orphanage in Guatemala. She says, "I knew the need. I had to come." The story of each child, says Pastor Fleck, is sad. Manuela was found abandoned on the streets of Paptun. She was hostile and acted like a wild animal. Alcion says,
When I first saw her, she had on a long, shapeless dress, much too long for her. She had on shoes that didn't fit, her hair with no shape to the cut. She really looked just like you would imagine a little orphan waif would look.
Alcion says, she picked Manuela up and squeezed her. She cleaned her, dressed her in clothes that fit, and gave her good food. Within a few weeks, Manuela became a sweet, well-mannered little girl. The new complex for children is currently under development. It is designed to accommodate 100 children, 10 cottages with a man and wife team, and 10 children in each home. The house parents are expected to give attention to each child, to keep them busy and happy, and to help them develop strong bodies. They are expected to provide nourishing food and train the children with Christian principles.
Unas amigas, Señor, con otros 4, Señor, y con Víctor Hugo también. Que el Padre Celestial podrá aprender más tu palabra. Todo eso te lo suplicamos en el nombre de Jesús. Amén.
It is the parental influence in everyday living that influences the children for life. At the nearby river, they do not go swimming before asking God's protection.
Que tú nos libres de todo accidente, que nos cuides y que nos des unos minutos hermosos. Te lo imploramos con el perdón de nuestros pecados, en el dulce nombre de Jesús. Amén.
Each morning and evening, the children gather around and begin to sing.
Happy, happy home, happy, happy home, happy, happy home, with Jesus and the family.
A little family altar is improvised by covering the ironing board with a bedspread. 2 sticks hold open an attaché case. A colorful little cloth makes it complete. Each child is often given a chance to participate.
Una vez caminando, hay una voz que decía, no peques más, Jesucristo ya viene.
Lily is 6 years old. She never knew her real mother. For 5 years she lived with a sister and their debauched father. The children were found living in squalor and want. Inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these, ye have done it unto me. The Flecks said, those words were so heavy on our hearts. We had to return to Guatemala to do our part. This is Mission Spotlight.